Hello there, my beautiful Taurus signs. This is Rachel with Dark Knight Coaching. Today's video is a traditional Celtic cross spread where I pull usually about 10 cards and then I, from the tarot deck, and then I pull a bunch of wisdom oracle cards or chakra cards or I Ching cards. It's kind of an eclectic medley of more guidance from your guides, from yourself, from spirit to help you align on your spiritual path. Now, there is a lot of generally, like overall, a lot of collective shifting that's happening. We've all been through a collective dark night of the soul, most of us that are doing the healing and the work. But I do feel like for you, Taurus, in particular, there is a lot of ego death happening. There's an ending and completion, one of which you feel like maybe you've been through the ringer or ragdolled around, which I feel like most of us can relate to that on a big level. So there's a lot here in the tarot, and I'm going to do tarot first, and then I will go into the oracle cards. But the song that I was meditating to when I tap into your energy, Taurus, was called Stormy Day by Northwest Stories. So you might want to check that out. Might be something about like Northwest generally, like that direction might be significant, or I'm even thinking like Southwest Airlines. That might be a significant message for someone there. So this is for Taurus or those who are guided to cross watch. You're welcome here. I have a lot of Taurus in my chart. I have a Taurus moon, which for a Sagittarius is kind of a hilarious thing, but life is paradox, and so is my astrological chart. So let's dive in here because I have a lot for you, Taurus. Right away, your vibe here is the star. This is Aquarian energy, so you might have a lot of Aquarius in your chart as well. You might be a humanitarian, but right now with the star, I feel like this is about healing. Sometimes this is about a wish granted, but I feel like it's either a little bit of both, or it's just like the whatever you wanted happened, but I don't feel like it happened in like the way that you were expecting, because your challenge right now is the Four Pentacles. This can be a card of financially you're saving, but this can also be a card of like being reserved or holding back. And I do feel like I don't know, I just get like an uncomfortable vibe for you. Like my stomach kind of feels like blech, which is weird because I didn't, like before I got on this reading, I didn't feel that. I kind of feel like really anxious, just very tense and not in a good way. So there might be some shifts happening for you because you're feeling uncomfortable if you're diving into the unknown, or if this is brand new territory for you. I feel like there's some anxiety happening for sure, because like my neck feels itchy. I don't know why. I was not itchy at all before I got on here. I've not done anything different, but I'm just getting a lot of nerves, so very strange. But the basis of this is the Knight of Swords, so there might have been someone moving in with a lot of information very quickly. Sometimes this is a fast moving offer of love coming in where you have to make a choice, and I'm not getting a lot of love in this reading, like that this is a love reading. I'm getting this as like a swift decision that you're making that maybe you didn't want to make, but that's the basis of what's happening. But the past here, I have the Wounded Warrior, which is Sagittarian energy, the Knight of Wands. So this card is like you've been through the ringer, you've been through it all, you've been through a lot of karma, and that's played out for you. And I don't feel like it was a very a good feeling at all. I feel like you really are beat up and like pretty done, because your current vibe is like you're feeling left out in the cold. You're feeling like kind of lost at this time, Taurus. The Five of Pentacles is like cold, and then the Two of Wands is the clarifier here, which is, I like this card with the Five of Pentacles, because it's like there is something that's going to come from all of this. It's just you can't really see it. This is like can't see the forest through the trees. Two of Wands is typically like a portal energy or making a plan for the future, because you don't want to stay stuck in this like Five of Pentacles energy. So I do feel like you're making progress, because you went from the Four of Pentacles to the Five of Pentacles. It just kind of doesn't feel good, even though it is moving forward. It's just a little bit of a harsh reality slap in the face. So your future energy, Taurus, is the Two of Swords. This is like you have a choice to make. Maybe you feel like your hands are tied, you're bound with was an option A or B. There are other options. I don't feel like it feels like it though. It's kind of the stuck between a rock and a hard place energy, but there is something to do with money or finances that's going to be impacted. I can't really tell if it's going to be a negative or positive thing for you, Taurus. I'm not really getting a particular vibe either way, because you can have abundance with and you can have abundance without. So, take that as it resonates, but what's in your control here is your perception of it, and the King of Pentacles is like your stability, how you feel stable and things like that. Now, how do people see you? They see you as healing, which is cool because you have the Aquarius star card, which is also like a healing card, and you have the Four of Swords, which is a healing, resting, regenerating. You might even be going on a retreat or something along those lines. And then you have the World card, which is a completion card. This is like a cycle is ending here because you're moving out of karma, and because you're breaking the chain, really. So that's a very positive card. But all of this is stemming from an ego death, because you have death card here, and it could be like the death or the loss of a loved one or a relationship or a situation or a job or friendship, whatever it is creating death energy, which is like you got to burn everything down to start over again. I like to think of it as like what do they call that, like controlled burns, where they go in and they burn a whole field, and then it like creates such fertile soil that it allows something else to come in and grow like 10 times as big and be more fruitful because of the loss that occurred. So there is a plus side to death and rebirth and regeneration and things like that. It's just sometimes it's really hard to see when you're in that like Five of Pentacles energy, feeling left out in the cold, alone, and that can be heartbreaking feeling. But I do feel like there is positive things to come from this, because you have in your hopes and your fears section, you have the Page of Pentacles, and this being in your hopes and fears, it's like maybe you're leery about starting something new or being a novice when it comes to learning some new skill or a new job or something like that. But I do feel like there's going to be a lot of value that you will receive through that. And then in your potential outcome, you have the Six of Wands clarified by the Empress. Now, the Six of Wands is a card of victory and success, and the Empress is a very loving, divine feminine energy, but we all have divine feminine and divine masculine, so you might just be celebrating the success of like healing your Empress mother wounds. And that can come from leaving relationships that were toxic, where we didn't even realize what was happening in the moment because we were lost in sometimes we get lost in nostalgia. Sometimes we get lost in seeing people how we want to see them instead of how they are. But that Empress energy is also a card of like fertility. So if you were trying to get pregnant, there will probably most likely be success there. A timeline I'm getting is like 6 weeks. So keep that in mind. And the Empress, I just view this as a very motherly, loving card. And maybe you're really embracing those aspects of yourself. And again, you can be a man watching this, divine feminine, divine masculine. We have both inside of each of us. It's just the nature of the duality of the world we live in. So that's what I have for you for tarot, Taurus. I am recording this video right before the full moon in Taurus, but if you are adept in the lunar cycles, you might want to check out that, because I feel like you're going to have a lot of shifts when it comes to your home and family life. Not only because the King of Pentacles was there, but this Taurus full moon, it's like whatever was happening 6 months ago, there's going to be some sort of completion or closure. And closure doesn't always happen in the way we'd like it. It happens in the way the divine or the universe needs it to happen. So you may not be, it may be a surprise how things play out in the next couple weeks, but I do feel like you're going to get what you need, not necessarily what you want. And that's kind of, unfortunately, the nature of the beast of the spirit world. We don't always understand why, but you have to kind of trust and have the belief that it's for your best, highest self, and you're divinely guided. Now, I was talking about that abundance perspective. And I have Treasure Island. So I do feel like this is about not what you have materially, but what you have internally that's going to be more valuable to you in the long run than anything monetary. Now, I'm not saying money isn't good and it's not useful. I'm saying like what's worth more to you, selling your soul to someone or something or some job, or knowing that you're true to yourself and you have that like inner gnosis that's going to be abundant and fruitful and probably lead to something very creative for you. You have Treasure Island. Turtles might be significant. I think at this movie called Strange World, that might be a significant movie for you, or you might want to watch that movie. I thought it was very cool and insightful for a kid's movie. Now you have creativity. So transmute your pain or your longing into something creative. That can be like throwing yourself into an art form, dancing, singing, drawing, things like that. There's lots of different things. It says you love to devise new ideas, innovations, and forms of illumination. And maybe that's what you're throwing yourself into with this Page of Pentacles, like learning something new. I do feel like that's going to be a positive way to alchemize any trauma or drama that you're feeling at this time. And you have the Bear card. It says be sensitive to where you are at and reflect on where you would most need healing. So you might be seeing bears, something about the Smoky Mountains. And then I release all negative thoughts of the past and all worries for the future. This card is about being in the here and the now. We kind of have to be in the present moment at certain times, and sometimes we need to be forward thinking and forward looking, and sometimes we do need to go back and look into the past. Now, when you stare into the past, you have a regret and remorse, and that can cause anxiety. And when you stare into the future, you can have anxiety as well, because you're like not sure what's to come and you're afraid of the future. So there's a fine harmony and a balance that you need to find between like looking at the past in the rear view and like glancing into the future. But I do feel like you're making a plan to shift, and that is going to be just great energy coming. Now let's see. There's a lot here. Step out of your comfort zone. I feel like that has to do with your creativity. You might want to sign up for some sort of thing. I don't know, bike club, running club. There's those like websites like Meetup and stuff like that. And then you have acceptance. This is kind of a card that I don't really care for, because it's sometimes accepting things is bittersweet. It's a bittersweet gift, but this has to do with your root chakra, which is tied to your stability and your, it's your base chakra. So it's like your stability, your family, those sorts of things, your material, 3D stuff. And I do feel like you've been through it for sure, because you have the mountain here. The mountain is you. That's a good song by Chance Pena, I think. The mountain is you. So you are the mountain. You are traversing the mountain. And sometimes that means diving into the shadows and then coming up for air. And it's a roller coaster ride, really, is what it is. And I do feel like you're almost at the peak here. It's just going to take a lot more acceptance and a lot more self-love and self-care, because you have number 27, nourishment. This hexagram is called Jaws and refers to all that gives nourishment: physical, social, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. It is all creating and recreating an individual ecosystem to sustain and shape you. Assess how you habitually nourish yourself and others and honor it. So how do you feed yourself, and what do you feed yourself? And that doesn't have to be just like literally eating. This can be like, what kind of music are you listening to? Is it positive vibes, or is it like low vibe? What are you absorbing in your body? You know, there's fluoride in the water, so make sure you use a filter. That's kind of what I promote. Drink some kombucha. That's good for your, if you medically can. I'm not giving any nutritional advice, so like take this as it resonates, but you can drink a lot of health foods and those sorts of things. And there's a lot of positive energy that can come into you with just shifting your mindset. So it's all about what your thoughts are things, and those can directly reflect how you intake energy and how you're putting out your own energy as well. So make sure you're being authentic, but also make sure you're being like cognizant and aware of what it is that you're absorbing. on a molecular level, because everything is vibration. That's just a scientific fact. So you also have harness. It says, know your mind and your patterns. If you have an intuitive thought that places you in a negative situation, is this guided by anxiety or alarm? And consider other times that you felt like this, and did you go with your intuition or did you ignore it? And what was the outcome? So sometimes we find ourselves in like precarious situations where we're like, ugh, I don't really like these people, but it's better than nothing. Sometimes that's not true. Like sometimes nothing is better. So use discernment, and discernment is a skill that you have to almost like flex like a muscle. So you have to kind of put yourself in situations where then you can understand like, yes, this is good for me. No, it isn't. And you're only going to be able to do that by putting yourself out there. So I do feel like that's what this step out of your comfort zone thing is. Like you're only going to know if you try, and Spirit is trying to help guide you into trying something new because it's going to help you grow. Now, that's what I have for you, Taurus. If this video helped, please smash the like button. It helps my channel grow, and I greatly appreciate it. If you're interested in a one-on-one coaching session, please feel free to reach out. If you want a personalized tarot reading, please feel free to reach out as well. On my website, you can book that. And then if you want to enter to win a free reading, I'm going to do a drawing at the end of the month. So on December 1st, I will draw a winner and send you a free reading. But all you have to do is leave a comment in my comment section. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.